Hey guys, so in lieu of the craziness that's been happening, I'm trying to find a way to be as productive and helpful as possible as I can in this crazy time of the coronavirus. So today I thought I would take you for my daily walk and talk to you about the light a little bit. Today's one of those days where it's completely cloud covered. I call it cloud covered light quality. And a lot of people say that you can shoot anywhere, but that's not necessarily true. So I thought I'd talk about that today. As you can see, I'm going to take you all the way around. We have pretty much complete cloud coverage. And for the most part, you can't really see any shadows on the ground. But that doesn't mean that they don't exist. Take a look at that tree right there. There's definitely a shadow under it. What you want to do on a day like this is look for the greatest source of light, which is probably right there. There's a break in the clouds and a little bit of light is coming through, shining. I'll show you on my face. Now this will change as the light changes, and actually the sun's starting to break through some clouds over there. But take a look at my eyes and you can see it's pretty dark here. There's some pretty dark circles under my eyes right there. My eye sockets are dark. Still dark, still dark, still dark. Starting to brighten up a little bit. Starting to brighten up a little bit. And even better, but I'd say probably right here. As you can see, I don't have as much dark circles under my eyes in this spot as I do over here. So I would want to shoot this way. The light is always the most important part of any picture. Not the background, nothing else, the light. So I would shoot this way and try to find the best option for background. So this was the direction that I was facing. This would be the background if I was shooting in that light. So, light poles, farm, but probably right here. That's not a bad background. I would probably shoot. So right about here like this is probably how I would do it. And I would probably use a slightly longer lens to try and bring the background forward and spread it out a little bit so we don't see those fences and the light poles and the houses in the background. Yeah, it's not a bad spot. Okay guys, still walking. I'm now at my local park. The light quality is still covered. As you can see, there are hardly any shadows on the ground. I guess it's hard to see from that angle. But again, we still have shadows. And that's what we want to be most concerned about, is we don't want shadows under the eyes and under your chin and all those types of things. Shadows are what bring out our imperfections. You know, it's those wrinkles on my forehead that, you know, you can see because of shadows. So on a covered light quality day like today, we want to fill in those shadows as much as possible. So other things that I keep in mind when I'm shooting is I don't really want an enclosed space. I want as much open space as possible to bring in as much light as possible into this scene and to fill in those shadows that we all have on our faces called wrinkles and fine lines and bumps. And I am definitely have some, so but let me just show you what I would do here to show you exactly what I'm seeing. There's the park. It looks like the clouds are starting to break up a little bit, but here are some homes, so try not to be too creepy, but that's what we have to look at. Now I'm going to look for the greatest source of light, which that might be it over there. I'm not seeing there's some breaks in the clouds, but I think the sun is actually over there. So that's really filtering through more so than any breaks in the clouds over here. It's pretty dark over here. So it looks like that's going to be our greatest source of light. So let's see what's behind these homes or what's behind me in that scene. And I'm right up against this pine tree. It's kind of dark in color. And somebody's house. It's a nice light color, but I just don't always love to have people's houses really close in the background of my photos. So what I would do is walk away from it. I want to give as much space between me or the subject and the background. So I'm just going to keep walking this way until I get really far away from it. Okay, so still walking. The other thing that I think about when I'm shooting is what is the light reflecting off of that will go onto my face or the subject's face. And right now, where I am right now, it's this green grass. I don't know about you, but I don't like the thought of green on my face. So I'm going to try to find a spot that's far away from the background, which now we're pretty far away from there, which is great. But I also want to have a nice light colored ground that's going to bounce light back up into my face. And right now over there, that's a nice light colored gravel. I don't want to freak out that kid playing basketball, so I'm not going to do it over there. But there's a sidewalk right there. That's great. I won't have green grass reflecting up in my face, and we're still facing towards the greatest source of light. And we're getting much farther away from the background back there. Okay, so public park. I would put the subject right here. Maybe even a little farther over here. Although when I think about it, then we're gonna have this sign in the background. So maybe right over here. That way, the subject is facing this nice, clean, light-colored ground that will reflect the light nicely. Okay, don't mind my hair flying everywhere. Definitely not professionally done today. But as you can see, the ground in front of me is being reflected up into my face, and I'm also facing the greatest source of light over there. So I'm far away from the background, which were those houses over there. We've walked away from it, and now the ground is reflecting the light up into my eye sockets. It's still dark because it's a dark day, and this is where a reflector would come in handy, an actual real reflector that you buy to hold in front of a person to bounce more light. But I don't have that right now, so this is my best option, and that's always the best. You just go with what's best. So this is what I would do right here, and possibly angle this way so that we have just slightly more of a pleasing background. There's a cute tree, I don't know, but definitely the background is the last thing I think about. The light is the first. Otherwise, we're gonna have dark shadows under my eyes, and you can see all my wrinkles.